She never imagined that rejecting her black friend would come back years later in such a shocking way. Back in school, she pushed him away thinking he would never matter in her life. But time changes everything. The same boy she once rejected grew into a successful man, and one day she found herself asking him for a job. The tables had completely turned. What happened next will surprise you. Watch till the end, because this story carries a powerful lesson. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more inspiring stories. In a quiet suburban town, there lived a girl named Emily. She came from a family that valued appearances, social status, and the company of people who looked and lived like them. For her, school was not just a place to learn, but a stage where she wanted to shine, to fit in with the popular crowd. Among her classmates was a boy named Marcus. He was kind, hardworking, and always ready to help others. But Marcus was different. He was black. And in that community, being different often meant being left out. Emily and Marcus were friends when they were very young, but as they grew older, things began to change. Emily noticed how other kids whispered, how some teachers treated Marcus with less warmth, and how her friends questioned why she spent time with him. Slowly, Emily began to distance herself. It wasn't because Marcus had done anything wrong. He was still the same gentle soul. It was because Emily feared being judged. The rejection cut deep, leaving a scar Marcus carried silently. Years passed, and their lives went in very different directions. Emily's dreams of success faded as she faced struggles she never imagined. Meanwhile, Marcus worked hard, overcame endless challenges, and started building something remarkable. Their worlds seemed far apart, until one unexpected moment brought them back together. And this time, the power balance was completely different. Life after high school wasn't as easy as Emily once imagined. She thought popularity and charm would carry her far, but the real world didn't care about those things. College was tough, and without strong grades or determination, she struggled. Eventually, she dropped out and started working small jobs, each one more draining than the last. Over time, the bright and confident girl faded into someone constantly chasing opportunities that never lasted. Marcus, on the other hand, took a very different path. He worked harder than anyone else, often staying up late to study and taking on extra jobs to support his education. He faced countless obstacles, teachers who doubted him, classmates who ignored him, and doors that were shut simply because of his skin color. But instead of giving up, Marcus used every setback as motivation. Years later, Marcus graduated from a top university and eventually started his own company. He built it from the ground up with dedication, patience, and a clear vision. What began as a small startup turned into a fast-growing business, admired by many. His success was not just financial, it was proof that determination could overcome prejudice. Meanwhile, Emily's struggles grew heavier. Bills piled up, jobs came and went, and she constantly felt like she was standing at the edge of failure. One day, a friend told her about an opening at a successful company that was hiring assistants. Desperate, Emily rushed to apply. She didn't even pay attention to the company name. She just wanted a chance. When she walked into the office for the interview, she froze. The walls were lined with awards, the atmosphere was professional, and everyone spoke of the founder with respect. Nervously, Emily waited in the lobby, wondering who she would meet. Then the door opened. A tall, confident man stepped out, dressed sharply with an air of authority. Emily's heart sank. It was Marcus, the same boy she had once rejected for being her friend. But now, he was the CEO, the one with the power to decide her future. Emily's face turned pale as memories rushed back. The laughter, the school lunches, and that one painful moment when she turned her back on him. She wondered if he remembered. She wondered if he cared. And most of all, she wondered what he would do now. The tables had completely turned, and Emily realized she was no longer in control. The room fell silent as Emily stepped into Marcus's office. The air felt heavy, almost suffocating, as she realized just how much power he now held over her. Marcus sat behind a large wooden desk, his name engraved on a shining plaque that read, Marcus Johnson, founder and CEO. Emily's eyes lingered on it, struggling to believe that the same boy she once pushed away had built all of this. Emily's mind raced. Should she apologize? Should she explain? But no word seemed strong enough to erase the past. She thought about how easily he could reject her now, how simple it would be for him to turn her away just as she once turned him away. The weight of regret pressed down on her chest. Marcus finally leaned back in his chair. Instead of anger, his voice carried something unexpected, control, but also dignity. He didn't remind her of the past, didn't raise his voice, and didn't ask for an apology. He simply looked at her resume and asked professional questions as though she were just another candidate. The tension in the room grew unbearable. Emily's hands shook as she clutched her bag. Every second of silence felt like judgment. Every question felt like a test she might fail. And yet, beneath all the fear, she saw something she hadn't noticed before. Marcus's strength wasn't just in his success. It was in the way he carried himself, refusing to let the past define him. For Emily, that realization hurt more than rejection ever could. Emily left Marcus's office that day with a heavy heart. Though she wasn't sure if she would get the job, the interview had already given her something far more important, a mirror to her past. She realized that one choice, one act of rejection, had shaped not just Marcus's journey, but her own. While he used the pain to push forward, she allowed fear and pride to hold her back. Days later, Emily received a call. Marcus had decided to hire her, not out of pity, but because he believed in giving people chances, even those who once failed him. Emily was stunned. She expected anger or revenge, but instead she was met with grace. Working under Marcus was not easy. Every day reminded her of the gap between who she was then and who she could have been. But slowly the job became more than a paycheck. It became redemption. She saw how Marcus treated his employees with fairness and respect, how he built a culture of unity regardless of race or background. His leadership wasn't about proving others wrong, it was about lifting others up. Emily learned more in those months than she had in years. She learned humility. She learned responsibility. And most of all, she learned that choices matter. The story of Emily and Marcus is a reminder to us all. Prejudice might feel small in the moment, just a choice to fit in or avoid judgment, but its impact can last a lifetime. So ask yourself, how do you treat the people around you today? Because the same faces you look down on could one day be the ones holding the door to your future. If this story touched you, don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more, and share it with someone who needs this reminder.